Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Zerg from YGG Gaming. I am going to show you right now the common flaw that people have in ZVZ, because I know it's a really tough matchup for a lot of people. So basically, this is just the guide to show you like what you kind of want to do to basically keep yourself alive and hopefully win. So the most common thing that people do, they'll go a good amount of mutas, they'll get lots of lings, maybe like lots of banelings or something like that. So this is an army versus this army. So you might be wondering like, well, like this is a small army, like these banelings will just roll over it, or you might not be wondering that, but basically, if you get a good position and you can burrow these lurkers, they can do all kinds of damage toward these banelings. And if you split your, you split the hydras, which I've shown in a previous guide on splitting, basically this will happen. So there are no upgrades, and so I mean 20 hydras versus 15 mutas. The mutas technically can win, especially when the banelings are there. But the fact is, these lurkers, the whole point of these guys is to defend against the ground. All those banelings, all those lings. So I'll show you one more time with better micro on my part, because I was talking too much. So basically, say the person attacks, they go in, and you're like, oh my gosh. So these lurkers will clear out every single baneling if they just run straight in. So this is the whole point of lurkers, because what will happen is this will prevent the other person from running right into your army. So you can see here, that was a lot better micro. So basically what will happen is you can slowly, with good control, you can force the other player to back up into their base or something like that. You can take out the base, take out the army, because these guys can't just come right in here. The only way they can really win is if they can pick off the lurkers with the banelings or with the mutas, something like that. So that was one version. The other version is that's a lot of blood and ooze and whatever. So the other thing is that people might go like roach ravager. I mean, say they have like that, and then maybe like they'll go into muta, but they won't commit. So maybe they have this. So this is like late game, like end of mid game. Probably a bit too much here. Say maybe that much. So maybe there we go. So what you do is you burrow the lurkers. Lurkers do a good amount of damage to roaches and ravagers. So basically, it forces them, like, yeah, they throw down the vials, and yes, that is true that ravagers are good against hydralisks. That is their strong, sorry, not hydralisks, but lurkers. But the fact is that if you have that many lurkers, like 7 lurkers right here, will shred through any army. So you're seeing here me have the other person run into the lurkers. That's to show you guys how strong it is. What'll happen in a game at a higher enough level, I mean, sometimes people will just run straight into lurkers. That is a possibility. But sometimes, most of the time, they'll like back up, and you can just keep pushing them back, and they really can't counterattack you, because if they take any of their units away, you can just go in there and kill them, most likely, with enough units. And keep in mind, this is about maybe, I had maybe about 25 total units versus an army with like a good 40. So that's just retrospect. I mean, with a lot more hydras, it would have been better. So the last thing I'll show you right now is a hydra versus a roach. So a hydra does 12 damage, whereas a roach does 16. Range on hydras is 5, and the weapon speed is 0.54 versus 1.43. So this is basically what will happen. The hydra will do a lot of damage. It'll keep attacking. The roach does more damage than the hydra, but the hydra does damage faster. So this is hydra versus roach. The hydra actually wins the battle. So technically, in an army with hydra lurker, instead of getting roaches, just get mass hydra lurker, because hydras actually kill roaches faster than roaches kill hydras. Now obviously, like, yeah, you're gonna have like you might have more roaches than hydras, considering roaches are cheaper, but the lurkers will instantly make that completely flipped and in your favor. So that's basically how you should probably go about ZVZs. Ling, bane, roach, and then like hydra roach against in ZVZ is technically also a viable strategy. The problem is if the other player is constantly taking out your third or harassing your army, or like killing your hydras or harassing your drone count, then that's going to be a problem. So Hydra Lurker is definitely a really solid strategy. You can even put them in your bases to just keep as defense. So this is your basic guide to ZVZ. Again, I know there's a lot of ZVZ stuff, but it is pretty pressing. ZVZ does cause a lot of strife in the ladder matchup, but there you go. So this is Zerg from YGG Gaming. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.